Sugarcane shouldn't be here. The Haitian slave revolt in 1791 put cane here by accident. So it really shouldn't be here. That's a whole nother story though. Sugarcane's been grown in Louisiana since 1795. It came here by accident. 1791 giant slave revolt in Haiti. Bunch of French-speaking people that knew about sugarcane. Disruption and unsettled conditions in Haiti. They left, they fled. What do? They come to Louisiana who has cane, but they don't know how to make sugar because it's too green. We get a Haitian slave boiler funded by Etienne de Boré who puts lime in the juice, because you can't boil an acid. He puts lime in the juice, he strikes sugar, and sugar's off and running in Louisiana. We granulated sugar.
The more sugar became popular, the more sugar spread, the more slaves that were needed. And so they go hand in hand, the increase in slave use and the increase in the production of sugar. Generally speaking, work on a sugar plantation was considered harsher than on a cotton plantation. In fact, that's where we get the old saying about being sold down the river. That was a slave saying because often cotton planters would threaten their slaves if they didn't do the work that they would be sold down the river, and that meant being sold to Louisiana and you were going to be working on the sugar plantation. Up until the Civil War, planters were always looking to buy slaves, always looking to buy slaves. Once they began produce sugar mills, began producing the sugar, that ran 24 hours a day. And so that never stopped. Once they began harvesting, they worked that sugar mill until all the sugar was processed, which could be weeks. And holidays, whatever, that they worked those mills. So very intensive work. The growers in the state joined together and started an association which began to study scientific ways to improve the growing of sugarcane. So they even opened a agricultural station where Kenner is, and then later on it was moved to where Alderman Park is, where they began growing different types of cane. So they take a more scientific approach to the sugar growing after the war, and it takes a while, but it eventually comes back. But most of the people who come back are different people.
Sugarcane was so intense manually to work. They say that cotton took 5 years to come back after the Civil War, where it took 30 years for sugarcane. And that's because everything pretty much was done by hand. And it was, you know, it's bigger fields and there was so much involved, and the planting, the harvesting, the burning of the cane fields were all very, very intense. This is an industry that's very important to this river region. Most of the cane is grown around here. You know, it's within these areas, and if you drive down the river road and you look far enough back, you're going to see some sugar cane. And it has been a wonderful crop.
Down here in South Louisiana, this is our culture, sugarcane, so it's nice to be involved in it. And I mean, I've got friends that would love for their family to be in farming because of the rich culture that surrounds it. It's just a nice life to be out here and get to see your work, what you do every day, just see how it progresses and make this life of your own.
I think I made 47 grindings, but they started taking me out of school when I was 15 to run harvester, so I've probably cut 48 crops of cane. I've always been in the cane field my whole life. You know, like, God looked down and he made me and he said, damn, everybody has a bad day, you know? So he said, look, let's put him way out in the sugarcane field and hope he don't ever talk to too many people and he ain't gonna be no trouble. So that's how that happened. And I've been hiding in the field since.
Everybody knows everybody's business. If my tractor breaks in the field tomorrow, somebody's gonna call me from over there, one of the other farmers, and tell me why my tractor broke. everybody knows everybody around here. It's a small community. It's not like the city where you're not going to know your neighbor. This is.
But on the other hand, it's a good thing, because if you get into a bind, and there have been years when we have gone to help other farmers and they have come to help us because of an unforeseen tractor breakdown or a harvester breakdown, and so you want to help your brother farmer get his crop out of the field. So having that small town closeness is a good thing. Yeah,
definitely a good thing.
You're gonna have about every 10, 12 years, Mother Nature gonna get off her medicine and we gonna have a bad year. You know, she gonna get a double dose and get right, you know. But I mean, I ain't backing off to some Mother Nature off her medicine. I seen it before. I done seen 10 of these horrible grinders, and they always, good thing about grinding, it got a beginning and it got an end, you know. So it's got a finite period, you just put up with it. Ain't too stupid to do anything else. I sound like I could get a job somewhere.
So whenever you pass sugarcane, it is just a tall grass. If you think about it, that it's in the grass family. But when you're looking at it, just think of table sugar. Think about all the things you do. I mean, they got soft drinks out with cane sugar in it. A lot of the products you consume on a regular basis have sugar in it, and you don't think about it. And there's people out there like us. There's a lot of work that goes into making that table sugar. Doesn't just appear. So. Kind of, you know, we live to make everybody's life sweeter. So.
Well, they at the grocery store, they don't care if you worked hard. They care about the price. You understand? You know, but what would I like them to think? Use natural real sugar, wash your hands with it, throw a little bit on the floor.